afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Lewis University's television network. Today is Wednesday, February 26, 2020. I'm Margarita Cremitis.
And I'm Angel Olivo.
And we begin with our top national and international stories. In East Delhi, 150 people are in hospitals and 13 have died, including one law enforcement officer. On Monday, roughly 11 miles from where state talks between India and the U.S. were set to be held, protesters engaged police in civil unrest. The violence was in response to a controversial proposed law which denies Muslim asylum seekers Indian citizenship, further stigmatizing India's 200 million Muslim community. The law is highly protested and yet supported by India's majority Hindu religious groups that benefit from the proposed legislation.
Swedish bookseller Gui Minhai has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for allegedly providing sensitive material to overseas parties. Some believe that this is a fabricated charge in retaliation to Minhai's criticism of the Chinese government. The government forced Minhai to participate in a televised confession for a drunk driving charge he had decades earlier. The Chinese government is forcing Minhai to renounce his Swedish citizenship. Minhai is only one of a group of 5 booksellers that they feel have publicly criticized, has been highly critical to the Chinese government, according to an online court statement. Gui pleaded guilty and will not appeal the charge.
The Israeli military and Palestinian militants in Gaza exchanged fire on Sunday, hours after a graphic video showing an Israeli army bulldozer rolled over the body of a dead man went viral. Militants fired more than 20 rockets at Israel by early Sunday evening, according to the Israeli army, making it the largest single assault by militants on Israel in several months. The Palestinian Ministry of Health said 4 people were being treated in Gaza's Shifa hospital for injuries. Though it wasn't clear whether they were involved in the rocket attacks, the dead man was identified as 27-year-old Mohammed Al-Naim.
On Thursday, Secretary of State Mark Esper oversaw a tabletop war game exercise that included a retaliatory nuclear strike to a hypothetical low-yield nuclear attack from Russia. The Defense Department claims they are not engaged in an arms race, and it was only routine. The U.S. recently deployed its newest, cheapest, and quickest technology in decades, a submarine-launched low-yield nuclear weapon known as W-76LL. Russia is in possession of up to 2,000 low-yield or tactical nuclear weapons. The U.S. has concerns that Russia could potentially use smaller nuclear weapons during a conflict on NATO's eastern flank.
President Trump predicts the coronavirus is going to go away, despite warnings from lawmakers expressing their fears over the virus turning into a pandemic. During a trip to India, Trump said the virus won't cause serious harm to the global economy. Trump did acknowledge the Wall Street plunge on Monday, but noted futures were higher ahead of Tuesday's market open in the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said it's too soon to tell whether the problem will go away, as the president suggested. The CDC is going to prepare for the virus to spread in the U.S. and is taking precautions to prevent a possible widespread pandemic. Coming up next, we'll take a look into leading local headlines.
And later, we have the latest political news. Stay with us.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Two people are in custody following a carjacking last week in Calumet Park, Illinois. State police tracked down the silver Nissan Monday morning in Inglewood. The driver led police on a high-speed chase to the Nissan. The Nissan spun out of control and crashed on the Dan Ryan Expressway. The owner of the car said the hijackers wore ski masks and gloves when taking her car. She was horrified to see her car on the news Monday morning.
A local 7-year-old with autism, Jeremiah Morris, has just received an award from the National Council of Exceptional Children. The award was for his use of technology. Jay Morris uses a phone, like a piece of technology, that has a lot of pictures on the screen called an augmentative alternative device. From there, it is able to help him form sentences or at least get his point across. When he was 1.5 years, his parents say he stopped communicating verbally. Morris' progress this year was so impressive, it earned him that award.
Yesterday was Fat Tuesday, or as many Polish Americans like to call it, Punchki Day. Thousands of people lined up to get their delicious, sweet treats. One store in Mount Prospect, Katy Market, sold more than 30,000 punchkis. They sell 6 different fillings, including classics like dark plum butter and rose hip jam. The key is to make the treats sweet, as many people will be giving up sweets for Lent.
Starting March 2nd, the Lewis University Pace Bus route will be departing later than usual. The CTA Blue Line Clinton Station Express will now be departing from campus to Chicago at 3:15 p.m. on weekdays. The Pace route from campus is free to students, faculty, and staff with a university ID or venture card.
Lewis University's last event celebrating Black History Month will be held on Friday, February 28th, in a collaboration between the Office of Multicultural Student Services and the Office of Admissions. Fulfilling the Dream is an annual conference that is hosted for high school students. The event will be held in Charles Borromeo Center and will start at 9 a.m. When we return, we have your day's top political headlines.
And later, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Tuesday night's debate centered around 6 candidates trying to push frontrunner Bernie Sanders back, with the South Carolina primary quickly approaching along Super Tuesday, when 14 states and American Samoa vote. In the first half hour of the debate, all of the candidates tried to knock Sanders down. Bloomberg accuses Sanders of being Russia's top pick for the elections. Meanwhile, Warren offered herself as the safer version of Sanders.
Last week, President Donald Trump promoted Richard Grenell to the top intelligence office. Grenell will now oversee U.S. intelligence agencies despite his lack of experience in the intelligence community. There is an archived version of his personal site that claims his clients include those from the U.S., Iran, and China. Yet the site was removed in 2018. With his prior businesses, news reports and others have done research about him to see whether his clients were foreign governments or politicians. However, there is no public indication that the Justice Department is investigating Grenell. Despite the inquiries, Grenell's new career grants him unrestricted access to classified information.
On Monday, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders stood by his partial defense of Fidel Castro's Cuban Revolution by saying, "The truth is the truth." The Democratic presidential candidate has faced criticism after his interview with CBS 60 Minutes, where he praised the literacy program launched by the Cuban government. During CNN's presidential town hall in South Carolina on Monday night, Sanders talked about how Castro formed the Literacy Brigade and that it was a good thing. He helped people learn to read and write. Sanders has since dismissed the criticism he received from members of Congress who thought his comments were politically motivated. Sanders has solidified his status as frontrunner for the Democratic presidential nomination after coming out victorious in the Nevada caucuses on Saturday. So these debates have been kind of hectic.
I agree. I'm thinking of giving it up for Lent, actually, at least until the primaries are over. No, I'm just kidding. No, definitely it's time to pay attention, but yeah, you're right. They have been crazy, and I think I'll go get some punchkis instead.
Coming up next, we have your full 5-day forecast, and later we'll have a look at sports. Stay tuned.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Lewis University Television Network. I'm Carl Zahn with your weather. Right now in Romeoville, Illinois, we're looking at 29 degrees, but it feels like 17 because there's not much sun out there, and we have that 17-mile-per-hour northwesterly wind. For our local temperatures, it's pretty normal across the board, about 30. Up in Madison, Wisconsin, we're looking at 27. In Chicago, 29. Valparaiso's 28, and Grand Rapids is at 30 as well. For our national radar, we're having those storms that we were seeing last night move into the Toronto and Michigan area, and we're even seeing some scattered snowstorms come into the Chicagoland area, with some snowstorms coming into the New York area. For our local radar, we can see those snowstorms that we were experiencing last night move out into the northeast, and we're seeing those scattered snowstorms come through the Earl area and the Lockport area. For our almanac for today, a high of 32 and a low of 27 is a little colder than what we're used to at a high of 39 and a low of 24. For our record temperatures in 2000, we were sitting at 64 degrees, and in 1983, we're at -1. For our 5-day forecast tomorrow, high of 33 and a low of 16. Those temperatures are going to just a little dip down into high of 31 and a low of 16 on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday are looking pretty promising with a high of 39 and a low of 31 with mostly sunny on Saturday, and Sunday a high of 57 with a low of 41 and mostly cloudy on Sunday. That's all for weather. Now back to Angel at the desk.
All right, Carl, thank you so much for that update. Stay tuned for sports next.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to LUTN. I'm Matt Mohan with your sports update. The men's baseball team kicked off their 2020 season last weekend with a 3-game series at Lee University. The Flyers split the doubleheader on Saturday, losing the first game 10-0, but rebounded with a 9-3 win in Game 2. The Flyers then finished the series with a 13-4 loss on Sunday, putting them at 1-2 on the season. The Flyers will remain in Tennessee for their next series as they face Trevecca Nazarene on Friday afternoon. In the most recent Division I men's volleyball poll, the Lewis Flyers came in at number 5 in the nation, and Tyler Mitchum has played a huge part in that. The 6'11" middle hitter out of Bolingbrook, Illinois, has just been named the National and Conference Player of the Week for his dominant performances in the Flyers' back-to-back sweeps last week. At 11-4, Lewis begins their toughest stretch of the season this week as they take on 2 conference rivals in the next 4 days. Tomorrow night, Lewis heads to Purdue Fort Wayne to take on the 14th-ranked Mastodons. Lewis then finishes the week in a rematch of the 2015 National Championship, facing Loyola Chicago. That game will be on Saturday night right here in Romeoville, so make sure to hit up the Neil Carey Arena for the 7 p.m. start and make sure to wear white. The Chicago Blackhawks decided to get active at the trade deadline, dealing backup goaltender Robin Leonard to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. In return, the Hawks received goalie Malcolm Subban, defenseman Slava Denim, and a 2020 second-round pick. This move came as a surprise, as Leonard has been one of the most touted backups in the NHL this year, boasting a 16-10-5 record and a .918 save percentage. Rebuilding for the future seems to be Chicago's priority at the moment, as they trail by 8 points for the final playoff spot in the West. Now for briefs, despite trailing by 24 points, the Bulls battled to the end last night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kobe White became the first rookie in NBA history to record 3 straight 30-plus point games off the bench. However, his 35 points was not enough to get the win, as the Bulls fell at home at the buzzer 124 to 122. The Blackhawks continue to struggle as they lost last night to the St. Louis Blues by a final score of 6-5. The Hawks entered the third period with the lead until Corey Crawford surrendered 4 goals in the final 20 minutes. And finally, in baseball, the White Sox beat the San Francisco Giants yesterday 4-3 off a walk-off base hit from Sebi Zavala. That's all for sports. I'm Matt Mohan. Now back to you guys at the desk.
That's it for today's news. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis News on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Margarita Cremitis.
I'm Angel Olivo.
I'm Carl Zahn with weather.
Have a great night.